So our priority here at Mercyhurst University with our strength conditioning program with the hockey teams, both our teams, is first priority safety. To do no harm, you hear that in healthcare a lot. We want to make sure that we protect the athlete. One of the things we do by protecting the athlete is we do a functional movement screen. We make sure they're moving well before they move often. We make sure they move well before we load them. Number two, we want to then develop the athlete, and that obviously pairs up with performance. So the ice performance is most important. So as a strength conditioning coach, my job is not to turn our athletes into weightlifters, but turn them to world-class athletes. So we want to develop them. And finally, I want to educate the athletes. We want to make sure that before, when they walk into the weight room, that we check readiness, and we also check recovery, that they're recovering after practices, recovering after workouts, and they're ready to perform. So especially in my case as their strength conditioning coach, that I'm servicing the athlete to be, again, the athlete first, making sure that I'm not, and the priority is hockey. So any skill practice they do is hockey. Anything we do in here is, from a performance perspective, is to decrease risk of injury. Well, when it comes to injury prevention, that's our number one priority, is protect the athlete, right? Protect the athlete, correct the athlete. So we want to protect them from, initially from moving incorrectly. Before we load them, we want to make sure they're moving well. So we start the season always off with a movement screen to make sure that they're within the standards of accepted patterns. If they are not, we make those adjustments early on.
A lot of the stuff on the workouts I can't do, but T does a good job switching it up for me. For example, like cleans and stuff, I usually do a lot of box jumps or jump squats, and for front squats, I'll do back squats instead and stuff like that. So it's good to have alternatives for guys that are injured. Guys with shoulder injuries and wrist injuries are probably the two most common ones. So there's always alternatives for that.
We make sure that throughout the season we take an intelligent approach on making sure that the organism, which is our players, are influencing the program, not so much the program affecting the organism. So if an athlete comes in, they're tired, they're not recovering, the program's going to be adjusted, but it's within a framework. My favorite quote is, the epitome of innovation is simplicity. We try to keep the program simple, so the guys understand it. Their programs are very easy to read, so we post the workouts up on the board. The guys know what's expected. They always know they're going to do explosive work first, followed by paired up strength work, followed by a tri-set of different types of functional exercises. And that framework is going to stay continuous throughout the season. It'll just be adjusted by volume or intensity. What's great about the strength conditioning, having the strength conditioning piece be a priority as part of the hockey experience, is that these guys, they get to not only decrease the risk, or at least reduce the risk of injury on the ice because of becoming stronger and healthier and moving better, is the performance that we see. We've seen a lot of guys improve in the weight room, and a lot of it has been really simple. We have one particular athlete that put 17 pounds of muscle on his first season here. He's gotten stronger, his body fat percentage decreased, and that was something that you don't see very often, but worked out really well for this particular athlete. He's already a really good skater, but the extra weight really helped him on the rink. I think it really helped reduce chances of potential injuries because he had extra weight when he was skating. We have another athlete came in and also really performed well in the weight room. Josh Lammon, he won our All-American National Strength Conditioning Association award last year. He was the kind of guy that came in, first one here, last one to leave, hitting every rep. But his max lifts improved throughout the season.
It was an honor for Chi to nominate me for the award last year. I take pride in working out in the weight room. People say you can't score goals from the weight room, but I think over the course of a season and over my career, it's definitely helped me along the way and pushed me to become a better player, especially at this level. The margin between how good one player is to the next is very small, so anything that can get you ahead of the player beside you is a major advantage.
It's been a great progression the last 3 years. Because prior to this, Mercyhurst did not have a designated strength conditioning coach, and I think that's what makes Mercyhurst also unique. Now that our team has an exclusive strength conditioning coach, when they come in, I'm not being shared with other teams. I'm working exclusively with just hockey. So for me, I get to know each and every athlete, and I love that part. My coaching philosophy, again, my priority when I walk into the weight room every single day is to serve the athlete. I want to influence them as much as I can, inspire them to get the work in and become not just better athletes, but better people. And one of the ways that I've articulated this over the years is kind of our three non-negotiables in the weight room. You know, number one is a non-negotiable is character, making sure that they complete every rep, making sure that what they do in the weight room or behind the scenes, they're true to themselves. Culture is another non-negotiable that we have in the weight room, is that they respect the environment. Some people might laugh, but our culture in the weight room is my office. All right, so I don't want profanity in the weight room. You know, that might happen on the weight, it might happen out in the ice, it happens in the real world, but here, culture is really important to me. The environment's important. A team that loves each other and is collaborative, who wants to win, they must work together. They must lift each other up. So culture is very important. And finally, purpose. So as a coach that I come in here, I know my purpose. My purpose is not to develop weightlifters, it's to develop world-class athletes. I really truly believe that people learn what their purpose here is in undergraduate school. You know, it's something much bigger than themselves. You know, it's understanding what's the bigger picture on you know, what God has for us. And so part of that is how they live their lives here in school. But hopefully, more than that is as human beings, as when they leave this environment of the university setting, that they go out and they become better people, and they inspire and change the world.